Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
We're derps'n'burps, the podcast for all gamers, spiritual souls, and creative minds out there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast. And today we're with a special Austrian edition. Crazy shit Austrians do on Easter. If you're watching on YouTube, you probably already noticed we have a bunch of Timos in Easter costumes. Don't ask me why I have two. It's a long story. Maybe I'm going to tell it later. Yeah, and maybe if you're going to notice in this episode, Steffi is still a little bit tired because I forced her to record early today. And
Hi,
Steffi,
guys. I'm so excited, full of energy already.
For you to know, Steffi's not really a morning person, while I'm like a hyperactive squirrel. As soon as the clock strikes like 7 or 8.
If we would live together,
Oh my god.
and you would come at me in the morning, I'd literally just fucking smash you.
Murder you?
In the face.
Yeah, like I have no idea how Nathan, I mean, to be fair, Nathan just stays in the bedroom the whole morning, doesn't leave it, and I'm just like downstairs being super hyperactive and doing all the things. And for me, see, I'm the most productive as soon as I wake up. Like I need like 15 minutes roughly, and then I'm like on full speed. Do you know the Duracell bunnies, like the battery thingies? That's me in the morning. Alarm! Sorry.
Alarm.
I'm sorry, there was the ambulance or the police getting Steffi because she said she would murder me. They're coming for you
And
already.
I'm the complete opposite. Like I work best during the night. Like I have my best ideas during the night. My creativity is so much better during night. It's crazy.
It's funny how we're the sun and the moon.
Yin and yang.
Yes. I think that's why we work together. That's why we usually record the podcast at noon.
At lunch. Yeah.
At lunch.
That's a good time, guys.
Because it's like for the both of us. But yeah, so for me, it's like everything from the morning till like the early afternoon I'm productive, and for Steffi it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, today we're going to talk about the topic of Easter and the crazy shit we Austrians, or some Austrians at least, I already
have
talked
no
a
idea,
little bit
guys.
to Steffi.
Julia said we apparently do crazy shit. I have no idea. I eat my Milka Easter eggs, which are freaking amazing. And Reindling.
Reindling, yeah. So Steffi apparently doesn't know all the crazy shit that we're doing, but it's fine. I'm gonna teach her. But before going into the topic, as usual, we're gonna start with the listener of the week, and then we're gonna tell you a little bit what's going on in our life. And yeah, so I would say, Steffi, tell us, who's the listener of the week?
All right, today, guys, we have 2 listeners. It's about episode 9, which was It's Okay to Fail. And Grinse Kätzchen on YouTube said, I'm really proud how I evolved in the past 5 years, although failing is part of my daily routine. And then a bunch of emojis. We can relate, Grinse Kätzchen. We can relate.
We all do that.
Hey Nifla said, I'm failing too at the moment in my hobby. Thank you for charging my batteries. Thank you so much for the love. And yeah, I mean, we talked about all of that a lot, right? Like failing and how much we fail or feel like we're failing at the moment. So guys, don't worry, you're not alone with that.
Yes, it's just phases. It's just phases in life. So don't worry about it. We got you. We're here to charge your battery like every Monday or whatever day you decide to listen to this podcast. So yeah, we're gonna just give you a short update in case you're wondering why we maybe don't have that many news. So Steffi is so we pre-record this podcast, right? So when you're listening to this podcast, this episode has been recorded 2 weeks before, or 1.5 weeks roughly before. And we just changed our day where we record. We usually would always record on Fridays together, but Steffi is starting to work. So from now on, we're going to start recording on Mondays. That's why between our last episodes is just a little... it's just little time for us in real time, so that's why there's not that many news from us. So I'm gonna start, then Steffi's gonna tell what's going on, and then we're gonna dive right into all of the crazy shit that we Austrians do for Easter, and I'm gonna teach Steffi the ways. So for me, what's new? Not really much. I found one more breeder for golden retriever puppies. That sounds really, really interesting. that we messaged is actually somebody from Carinthia. It's one that I got recommended by my dog trainer friend that actually has a few of the Goldens already in training. And she said the personalities and the way they behave are really, really good. They're really, really healthy. We also checked like all of their health certificates are really good. So obviously I want to support a breeder that does everything correct.
Yeah.
Or as good as possible, right? And he has all the vet papers and stuff. And I messaged them, I think on Friday, about because they're gonna have 2 litters in beginning of April. And I messaged them if they still have a free puppy from those two litters, and if so, if we're allowed to reserve one or if we can go into a waiting list. And she just answered me today. Thank you for the request. The reservation list is full at the moment. We have to wait to see how many puppies are actually going to be born. But in case there is more puppies than there's people on the list, which could be, she will inform me. The puppies are probably going to be born between the 10th and the 11th of April. So
that's so soon.
Yeah, I know. So it's like on Easter actually. Oh my god, they're gonna make Easter babies. So obviously it's more or less not a confirmation, but you know, maybe there's this special puppy in there. That's gonna be ours, and it will be born on Easter. So cute. So that's the one news, that we potentially have a breeder, but I also think that that is gonna be one of the last ones that we're gonna request. If it's like 3 in a row that kind of, you know, say no, I'm gonna take it as a hint. You know, maybe it's not the right moment. It's not supposed to be. So I don't want to force it. So I'm gonna just see if I feel like if the universe wants me or us to have a golden right now, they're gonna give this one extra puppy. And if not, then it's gonna be another time. So that's the puppy update. Then the reason why I'm forcing or like ask Steffi to record this early is because I actually have to drive with Nathan to Graz today, because finally, I don't know if anybody remembers or saw the YouTube video. Steffi and me were on the road with Nathan's car. Was it in September?
Oh my god, it's been
a
so
long time ago. I think like last year, September, I picked Steffi up in Graz with Nathan's car, and Nathan's car broke down. It had a fucking broken steering box, because it was the car itself that had a steering box that was already built into the car that was broken, and they actually recalled the car without recalling the car or everybody. Oh my god, Timo is bald! No! Steffi just took off.
It looks so funny though.
I never saw this. I'm sorry.
You didn't?
No, I never checked. Oh my god.
This is pedo Timo.
Oh no, not that. Okay, for the people that listen to the podcast, Steffi's playing with her Timo plushie, and she just took off his bunny suit, and he's bald underneath. And it's the most cursed thing I've seen in a long time.
Penis shape. Look at it.
Oh
like
no,
his head has...
Stop.
Look at it.
Stop.
Beautiful blends. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, moving on from the penis-shaped Timo head. So yeah, today is finally the day since last year in September.
That's crazy though.
And now it's March. The next year, we're finally getting the car back repaired. So,
what a joke.
What a fucking joke. Don't get a freaking Camaro, guys. In Austria, at least, it is a pain in the bum to get it repaired. But anyway, so yeah, I have to drive Nathan to Graz to pick up the car and then drive home again. And because obviously Steffi is a hardworking woman and she wants to stream today, you know, she offered me we can do it before stream or after stream. So I was like, you made a mistake. You offered me to do it before the stream. Guess what, guys?
You wanted to do it before.
I'm a horrible person.
It's fine. To be fair, 9:30 is not that bad. But like time change stuff, it's like 8:30, but still, it's fine. It's fine. I had to recover from the weekend, which I'm gonna tell you soon, guys. So I went to bed earlier yesterday.
Proud of you. So yeah, the time change cucked her here a little bit. And then the last news, I'm getting a new barbecue on Thursday. I get a gas grill. For a
Nice.
nice barbecue. So maybe Steffi, in summer you're
Nice.
coming by, I can barbecue something that you like, maybe some bread.
Some garlic bread
Some garlic
and
bread.
paprika and
Mhm.
potatoes.
Yeah. So we're gonna have some great barbecues this summer. And I
Nice.
think that was all that's really new. It's really new for me. Yeah, that's it. That's it for me. What's new for you, Steffi?
I finally have my life under control again, guys. I cleaned my keyboard.
Oh my god,
It's
that's
beautiful again. Feels so smooth. Like one of the best feelings when you go back or like get back to your PC is a clean keyboard. Like I love playing or typing on a clean keyboard. Super awesome, exciting, life-changing news. What else? Street food season starts at 1st of April. So as Julia already said, we start recording on Mondays now because I'm working Friday to Sunday, and I'm not free at all on these days. And I had a very interesting night on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were brunching with friends like Ben, Maria, Xava, and like just friends of us. And then after the brunch, I asked Ben, "Hey, you want to just like chill a bit on the balcony because it was like super nice weather, super sunny, and we could like maybe have some drinks, a gin." And he was like, "Sure, let's do it. Super nice." And then we did groceries, bought some a very good Hendrix and some what's it called? What do you mix it with? My brain's not working anymore.
Gin? Tonic?
The
What?
tonic water. Tonic
Tonic?
water. And just like set up a few things on the balcony to chill there, listen to music. Max was playing D&D at this time. They started at 4 and we're downstairs, like one floor down, because like this is where his brother lives, like basically under us. And they said like around 5 or something or 6 when Ben and I were partying, it sounded like 20 people house party because we were so like
Oh no.
just hyped and singing and everything, and we were quite drunk already, and it was super fun. Like Ben and I had such a good quality time. I really enjoyed it. We had nice talks and everything. And then one of his friends was out like not in a club, but there's like different places, right, where you can just you have those booths where you can still drink. And he was like, "Yeah, let's go there." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I can until 8 p.m. because then I would have had a gaming date with a friend where we would have been like drinking a bit and would have played Overwatch." So I said, "Okay, I have 1.5 hours. Put on my sexy clothes. I don't know how I managed to put on my tights and everything, but sure." I was super drunk and I didn't even realize at this point. And then when we were there, Ben and I were just like memeing around, screaming around. And I was like, "Where's Jin? We need Jin." And then he finally found another like booth that was selling gin. And we met another friend there of us, which was super fun because she was there with her like work colleagues and shit. Um and Ben came back with like 3 glasses of gin, and I took like 2 sips, I think. And then I was like, "I can't drink this anymore. I need to go home." And then he offered me to go back home with me, and I was like, "Nah, I'm fine, all good." And I called my friend, and like the walk was, I think it was an 11-minute walk till I managed to get up back into my apartment. And then shit hit.
The
And
fan.
I
Oh
just got,
no.
yeah. I just like Max said, every single rug in the apartment was like misplaced, displaced, whatever you want to call it, because apparently I just like slipped around everywhere. I tried to rip off all my clothes, and my clothes were like spread in the whole apartment. And then I was naked, bent over the bathtub because I just wanted to throw up.
Oh, not that
I
good
was
anymore.
crying and screaming. I was drowning in self-pity because I felt so awful. I was so fucking drunk. And then I threw up multiple times. I don't know how I managed to go to the kitchen, grab a bowl, then for some reason or somehow I managed to put on like my sleeping t-shirt, went to my bed with the bowl, tried to not puke myself, and then Ben called Max to check after, like, look after me, because
Yeah.
I didn't text Ben when I arrived home. So Max came up, and I was just like, Max, please stay with me. I can't. And he was like sitting right like at the edge of the bed for a half an hour or so, just sitting there
Aw.
holding my hand because I was so fucking drunk. I was throwing up the whole time. This is what a pandemic does to you guys. I can't take anything anymore.
Okay, guys. So what did we learn? Don't drink
Too
alcohol
much.
too much.
I'm at this point right now where I feel like, okay, I need to find either another option. Like, I don't know, I don't want to smoke weed or anything, but at least you don't have a hangover after that.
Yeah.
But drinking alcohol is fun.
I can't either. Like
to a certain point.
I cannot drink alcohol anymore. Like if I think back, like when I was younger, I was getting drunk like twice a week.
Yeah.
Got fucking wasted the next day. I was feeling bad for an hour and then was fine again. And now literally I drink 3 glasses of something 3 times a year. And then I'm fucking wasted after 3 glasses. And the day I wake up the next day is like, I feel like death. And it's not one day. I sometimes need 2 to 3 days to recover. And that is the reason why I cannot drink. And I mean, I know it is because I don't drink regularly. But for me, I just don't have the urge to drink regularly, right? So, and now if I do it every like 3 times a year or something, I regret it every single time. And as you said as well, like for me personally, I don't really feel like it anymore. I often have it like even on your birthday, you know. For example, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get drunk at Steffi's birthday, and it's always like this moment, like I have like 3 drinks, and then I know I drink that 4th glass, and then I'm gonna be fucking gone and dead for 4 days.
That's why I like in between drink water, which is fine.
Oh yeah, that helps a lot, but it doesn't. For me, it doesn't help either. I have this thing like with Laura. Like we were in Croatia together last year, and Laura, the girl that I also like work out with and everything, she actually started making us, for every glass of alcohol that you drink 1 glass of water, and that helped a lot. But I'm still dead afterwards. So yeah, I don't know. Like for me, I'm really thinking of like not drinking alcohol at all anymore. Not in the sense of like, oh yeah, I want to be, I don't know, better than anybody else and not touching alcohol because I'm better than that. But for me, I'm just at the point where it doesn't give me any pleasure anymore like it used to in the past. And as you said, like I would like to have something that, you know, when I'm going out with friends that relaxes, or like a habit even, or whatever it is. Like as you said, like it doesn't matter if it's like smoking weed or whatever. Can't do that either because I got a fucking psychosis if I drink I smoke weed. So yeah, there's that. So I don't know, for me, maybe to take off the edge, I'm gonna eat something spicy or something. I don't know.
Yeah
If you have any idea.
It's like I'm fine with, I really enjoy like having a glass of a good wine or a good vodka or a glass of gin in summer on the balcony or wherever you are. I really enjoy this. And I always know when to stop, usually. Like, and I stop because I know the next day gonna be horrible. So I try to just like get sober again and like just fade it out, you know, the whole evening, like let it fade out. But this time, it just hit me like a truck. Ben and I were just enjoying ourselves so much that we didn't stop drinking. And all of a sudden, I was dead. It was insane. But yeah, it was fun because I really had a good time with him until the point where we left my apartment. That was my downfall. But before that, it was fine. But yeah, it was just too much. Maybe like some alternatives are needed.
Or maybe we need to go back from drinking like hard liquor to drink like Bacardi Breezer or something like when you were younger.
I can't. All the fizzy shit, you know. It's like,
I know, and the sugar and everything. I know.
I know gin tonic is also like with fizzy stuff, but
it's
nowadays
it's not as sweet. Like the Breezer and stuff, there's also so much sugar in it.
Bleh.
And like also if I think about like in the past when I was younger, yeah, like I always used to drink the
cheapest shit ever.
first of all the cheapest shit, which now if I would do it would like kill my brain like instantly, I feel like.
Yeah.
But
And
I
I would
also
throw
did
up
the
because
thing
it's
that I
disgusting.
drank energy combined with alcohol, which please don't do that. It's really really bad for you. But like back in the day, I was not aware at all.
Vodka Red
So
Bull.
yeah, or whatever. Like even if it was Monster, if it was like the cheap non-branded like vom Spar, or like the Taurin 2-Liter Flaschen vom Lidl, yeah, Race or whatever it's called.
Oh my god.
Like I used to drink like I don't know, like 10 of those, and I would be fucking gone. And now if I think about it, like I can drink half a Monster a day, and then like I'm already gonna be hyper till like fucking 2 a.m. or something while I go to bed usually at 10. Like I think I'm like really sensitive to
some substances.
what is it called? Caffeine. Or like one coffee in the morning is fine, but if I drink one in the afternoon, I cannot sleep at night and stuff.
Okay.
But so I know when I can drink it. But for example, if I would drink like 1 or 2 energy drinks a day, or let's say 2, or even mixed with alcohol, like I feel like if I would do that now, my heart would explode. Like I now in retrospect have no idea how my heart did not give out drinking. Like imagine you drink like I don't know, if you have like 5, 6, 7 of those, that's like probably like 3-4 cans of an energy drink, right?
Yeah.
And then combined with alcohol, like how is my heart
crazy.
not exploding? Like crazy. So I'm happy I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And
same.
your street food market is starting, right? Next week? This week?
First of April is the first street food market if everything goes fine.
Oh, nice. So Friday.
What's it gonna be?
Nice.
Friday to Sunday. The only sad thing is, guys, I mean, by the time you're gonna hear this, we already had Mike's birthday party because it's his birthday on the 29th and he's celebrating on the 1st. And this is my very first weekend working, which is gonna be horrible for me because Max is hosting a bad taste party on Friday.
Oh no.
And I'm literally coming home, I don't know, at midnight from work, can go to the bathroom. Everyone is like partying in my apartment, probably being super drunk. And I'm gonna go to the bathroom, cry myself to sleep after my shower because I cannot take part of his birthday party, which is sad, but it is what it is. So yeah.
I'm sorry,
Also,
but a bad taste party, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do? Like it sounds fucked up, but I had this idea for my next birthday party if I do
a swinger party.
Okay, Stefie. I feel like there's some projection going on.
That
okay,
would be fun.
Okay.
Sorry, it's like 30 plus, right? People start swinging and shit. I'm sorry.
Stefie, I know you're turning 30. If that's what you want to start when you're 30, if you want to start swinging, go ahead. I'm going to support you. I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader.
I want to try it out. I have never done it, so I just want to at least try it out once.
Oh, I'm way too jealous. Like I can't. If I have to watch somebody do something with my partner,
that's hot.
Jeez, no. Like I get it. Like understand the thought. Like if I see it in a movie or whatever, you know what I mean. Like it's hot to watch, but if I would imagine somebody else doing something with my partner, I would boil over. I would want to kill the person that's I'm way too jealous for that, sadly. Like, I wish I wasn't. Like, I think it's really interesting. Like, I could imagine doing that maybe with, like, friends with benefits or something that somebody that you don't have romantic feelings for. Like, I can
that's
definitely
the thing. You need to separate sexual desire.
And that's something I can't. That's something I can. For me, everything sexual is really, really bound,
connected with an emotion,
with romantic emotion. So for me, that's sadly not the thing. So fantasy wise, yes. Real life, definitely a no, because I know in a moment that the old 16-year-old ashtray throwing Julia would come out of her shell and would like.
That's amazing.
No, so sadly, again, understand it. Could imagine
so no swinger party for you.
No swinger party. What I wanted to say is actually, I wanted to make an emo birthday party where everybody dresses up like in the MySpace days and we listen to all the old music.
That's a good idea as well.
Like, you know, the full cringe, like checkered Vans, famous stars and straps,
Where do you get
t-shirts.
these clothes still?
Oh, I still have that in my basement.
I don't.
Still have
I have
everything.
nothing of that.
Oh yeah, like I mean, you can probably buy like cheap shit. Like it doesn't necessarily need to be the original thing, you know. It can be just like neon pink t-shirts and checkered belts or whatever, or just the makeup.
Dear.
You know, technically you just need tight as fuck jeans and a t-shirt and put a necktie on, get some studs and cut off some.
I had the neon tank
fishnet
tops.
Yeah,
And the fishnets
the
on top.
fishnets, yeah. The fishnet gloves, everything.
Oh,
Die
dear.
tapeten Hår, Alter.
Mhm.
The hairstyle, you know, everything. I don't know. So I
That would be fun.
kind of would like to do that and just like play all the old music so I can feel like 16 again. But yeah, anyway, I think that was a really long intro, but I really enjoyed that.
Mhm.
How can we talk about emo parties, swinging, a new barbecue, a puppy, and a drunk night out within such a short time? I think that is only something we can do. Also,
Superpower.
before we go into the Austrian thing, I actually got a message today this morning from Spark. You know Spark, right? Spark is one of our
the bad Morgana
viewers.
player in League, I know, yeah.
Yeah, our Morgana jungle, the best Valorant player I know. And he wrote me, if we haven't thought about a podcast, he told me a few topics that we could talk about. So I think Stefie and me talked about it as well, that I actually forgot to tell you that before the podcast, so this is also new for Stefie. I hope this is fine for you. So we sometimes could talk about things that are going on at the moment we record a podcast. So what's happening today right now, there's two topics. So one that is probably wider available to everybody is the thing of Will Smith punching what's his name, Chris Rock. Have you seen it yet?
Was
At
it
the
at the
Oscars?
Oscars?
Yeah,
Really?
you've not seen it?
I completely forgot.
Oh yeah, it's
like
okay. Yeah,
usually Ben
Steffi
and
just got
I
up.
watch the Oscars like
Yeah.
together. But
So-
I to be honest, completely forgot about it that it was this weekend.
Yeah, so basically, you probably, as soon as Steffi just woke up, so she probably didn't check social media yet. It's all over social media.
No.
So basically what's happening, or what happened, was that Chris Rock was making some jokes, right? And he was making a joke about Will Smith's wife being bald, and he made a joke along like, what was it? I forgot what it was, but basically a joke about her being bald. And then Will Smith stood up, went onto the stage, slapped him in the face, and walked off the stage again. And
The fuck?
so now there's like the whole internet kind of like split into two, where they're like, what the fuck, you can't do that on television, just walk up and slap somebody because he made a joke about your wife, right? So I did a little bit of research into it, and there's a little bit of context that is missing. So the thing is, Chris Rock made fun of Will's wife before, and Will told him to watch it, and then he made a joke about her being bald again. But the thing, I'm not 100% sure if Chris was aware of that, but the wife of Will Smith has actually a medical condition. She has alopecia. So if you don't know what alopecia is she's losing her hair in spots, right? So that's why she's being bald. So it's probably like a soft spot that he found, right? Plus they didn't really, if you just see this one clip, like, and you don't know the full context of Will already telling him to watch it, right? And then he makes another joke. Then again, like, you should never just insult or physically insult. Not, how do you say it? Assault? Sorry, assault, not insult.
Assault.
Physically assault, obviously, you shouldn't do that.
But to be
over
fair,
words.
I kind of understand his reaction.
Yeah, that he
Because if you
protects his
say
wife.
before, yes, first of all, it wasn't the first time he he apparently made it clear like beforehand already that
Yeah, but
he should
I have
stop
to say,
doing
like,
this.
that's not really all over the internet. So there's like the most
Yeah, of course not.
the main clip that you see is just Chris making the joke, Will standing up, walking up, slapping him, walking off the stage again, and then
To
tell
be
him
fair,
shut the fuck up! Don't you take the name of my wife ever in your mouth again, and then that's it. So now it's like this split internet.
understandable.
Yeah, like I understand that you would defend your wife, especially if it's a joke about like a medical condition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's
what
because
makes
he
it
made
really
fun
fucked up.
of her being bald, but in fact she has like a medical
Exactly.
problem. So that's not cool.
Of course,
if you do that.
of course. Like I think both things are not okay. So
Yeah.
that would be something that I would
No,
be
I'm
interested
fine
in.
with Will Smith.
So and there's like all the memes now of like, you know, Men in Black where he just flushes people to erase the memory. So now like
That's
there's the memes everywhere. Will Smith after the Oscars with the blitzkings, or like Will Smith's publicist after the Oscars and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of funny memes, but in the end it's a really serious topic. So I personally would be interested in if you guys want to engage into that conversation. Do you think it's okay what Will did? Do you think it's not okay? How do you think the situation should have been handled? And then there's a second thing, which is actually a thing that Spark told me to talk about, which is more a gaming situation. I'm gonna just send you a link on Discord as well, so you have a little bit of context. So there's like a Twitter post, for example, going on that's who defended the wife the right way versus the wrong way. So there's a picture of Will slapping Chris, and then there's on the second side the topic of what Spark sent me. So basically, if you're in gaming and in FPS games, you probably know who Tarek is, former CS player, now playing Valorant as well. And there's also Jason R, also a content creator in CS and in Valorant. And there's the thing about Jason that is like all over the internet for a long time already. Like I used to be a sub for him as well. He's a really good player, funny guy, and he has now a wife, I think, not girlfriend anymore, but a wife. And ever since he has his girlfriend, he or she or whatever, like the reasons are not known, started to ban every single female out of his chat. So there was no female allowed to chat to write in his Twitch chat anymore. He has been banned for it before on Twitch, but because they can't really prove it that it's because of a gender that he bans people, you know. And he doesn't say anything publicly. So there was this drama before. And with Valorant, there's the thing now that as soon as he notices that there's a game in queue with him or in the game, he dodges or leaves the game. And he doesn't really make a statement for that, why he doesn't want to play with girls. And there was the thing, Tarek and Jason are obviously friends. And or not obviously, but they're friends. And Tarek doesn't want to play on stream with him because he doesn't want to associate with somebody that is being wait, how do you say it in English? It's not what is the word for when you discriminate because of gender? I forgot it.
He's sexist.
Sexist, exactly. Sorry, exactly. Since Tarek doesn't want to associate with somebody that is being associated sexist because of not wanting to play or even having girls talk in his chat, he doesn't want to play on stream with him, even though they're friends in real life, right? Which I think is a valid point. Like I wouldn't want to do that either, right? And then there was, I think it was yesterday, there was a full hour, like a 1 hour conversation between Tarek and Jason where Jason did not understand why Tarek would not defend him. Him publicly, because he says, Tarek, yo, you met me and my wife and or a girlfriend or whatever she is in real life. You know, we're normal people. I'm not a sexist person. Like I hang out with you and your girlfriend and everything. Please, can you just, in kind of way, he wanted Tarek to vouch for his character, that he's a normal person and that he's not sexist, while still not wanting to play. Like he didn't want to explain why. In the bottom line, I think I watched the VOD, I think it's like 50 minutes. I watched like 35 or 37 minutes before that we came on here. And basically what Jason says is that he doesn't want to play or talk or be in contact with other women to protect his own relationship, to not give people a chance to like turn it on him. You know, like I think that's my point of view, that he has probably a girlfriend that's jealous, right, and doesn't want him to interact with other girls, and he respects it, and because of that probably doesn't want to be in contact with other girls, even in video games, right? Which is, yeah, you can think about it what you think. And so Tarek is trying to explain to him, like, I like you as a person, but I don't support you dodging cues and not playing with girls. I'm not sure if he still bans the people in chat or girls in chat. I'm not sure about that part, but he dodges cues all the time. And Tarek tells him, like, dude, there's evidence. There's like all of your VODs, as soon as there's a girl, you dodge. You cannot deny this. And I don't want to be associated with this. And Jason just doesn't understand why Tarek cannot stand up for him. And Tarek explains to him, like, I cannot stand up for you because I don't agree with what you're doing. I think it's weird that you do that. And so it's basically a 1 hour discussion between Jason not understanding the point of Tarek and the other way around. So that is also like a thing where we could see your opinions. Like, what do you think about that kind of thing? Would you, like, first of all, do you think it's okay that somebody dodges cues because there's somebody from a gender that you don't like? I mean, obviously as a girl, you can't really do that. You can't be like, oh yeah, I don't want to play with other guys, so I'm gonna dodge whenever there's a guy in there. It's kind of hard to do that, right? But the other way around, do you think it's okay what Jason does? Do you think it's okay that Tarek says that, hey, I want to be I can stay friends with you, but I'm not gonna vouch for you because I don't agree on this topic with you, and that's why I also don't want to play or associate with you, because I'm not gonna dodge games just because there's a girl in it, right? So I think that's also a really interesting topic where so thank you, Spark, for bringing that up. And I would also like to know, our listeners, if you're in that scene, if that's something that what your point of view on this is. Where do you stand, Steffi? Do you think you probably can't relate why somebody would do that, right?
I cannot relate at all, because I don't care which genders on my team, as long as we play together. Right? And there's only like, this one game you have to play with the randoms, and then you probably never see each other again. So why? Like, I don't know. I do not understand it at all. What I realized in Apex and in Valorant, I met more girls recently.
Oh, really?
There were more girls on my teams, which was super nice. And then, funnily enough, I caught myself in this situation where I was like, hey, there's a girl on my team. Because it's still something
that is rare, right?
Rare.
Yeah.
And it's not in a negative way to think that there's another girl. Like, when I say, hey, but I'm still surprised.
Yeah.
We're still not, like, it's still not even in video games, which is fine, because I don't care if you're a girl or a boy or whatever you are and play video games. But it's still, like, majority is still guys. And I just catch, like, in Valorant or Riot Games community in general, people are more toxic than, for example, what I have experienced in Apex so far. Maybe, I don't know why, but I can't even tell you if it has something to do with the age or like how mature you are or not, or game genre or whatever it is. But I do not understand why you would ever do such thing. Like, it's a
like,
fucking
even
video
for your
game.
partner, like, even for your partner, like, I would get it. See, the thing is, I understand in some way, like, I personally never had the issue, right? But I can understand when you're a guy that is dating a girl that plays a lot of video games and has a lot of male friends that she spends a lot of time with, right? Like, I can understand that you are not necessarily jealous, but, you know, if she's around so much with dudes and has like dude friends and stuff, that you want to know more, like, oh yeah, who are those guys, that you want to spend time with them and get to know them as well, right? But I mean, especially if you play like solo queue or something as a random dude in there, like, I couldn't
So
care
fucking
less
dumb.
about
Yeah.
like what's the problem at all. And I think personally, like, again, there's nothing against Jason, while still I have to say I used to be a sub for Jason back in his Sliver days, back when he was playing CS before he had his girlfriend and everything. I loved to watch his stream. And then out of a sudden, as soon as you had a miss in your name, or like a name that showed that you're a girl, you got banned. And that was like years ago already. Like, I don't even know if I'm still banned or whatever. That's when I stopped watching him, even though I thought he was a funny guy. And that was something that hurt me as a viewer back then, especially as a female viewer. And now hearing that he even like dodges games where there's girls in there just because of him wanting to respect his wife, like that's the reason that he gives. Like, I'm sorry, but for me that sounds like it's not a healthy relationship, because in my opinion, if you're not having the trust into your partner that you can even trust him to play a video game with a person from the gender that they're interested in, alarm. Yeah, exactly. You hear that? Yeah. That's what's it. Red flags and alarm bell should go off. Like, in the end, that was, by the way, not intended, but it was really fitting. That's a sign where I think you should maybe, instead of dodging that, try to work on your relationship to get it in a healthy place where you can trust each other. Then again, like, it's their own thing to do, and I don't want to like attack Jason or their relationship, but just in my opinion, I don't think it's a healthy state of a relationship, and I'm 100% behind Tarek when it comes to that, because I wouldn't want to play with that person, especially on stream, then either, like, or even off stream. Like, if you don't agree with that, like, obviously, like, I think nobody should agree with that. Like, that is such a stupid mindset. Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think every girl falls in love with you just
Yeah,
because
of course,
you're in
Stefie.
my fucking video game?
Yeah, Stefie, of course. Like, when if you would match with Nathan in a game, of course, that means you want to suck his dick, right?
Yeah, waterfall.
Obviously.
Like, I don't. That's the next thing.
I'm getting pregnant by just hearing your voice.
Yes. It's like, the fuck is this? Like, what do you think?
Sorry. It's like, I don't know. It's so childish, and you have to think about, they're fucking grown-ups.
And then again,
we're not
if
even
you go
talking
to
about
the grocery store.
Wait, how old? Wait, let me see. Jason, our age.
It's the same with, I don't know, with everything where you meet people. It's like, okay,
27.
No, you're not allowed to go to the grocery store because they're girls.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing.
What is that?
That is not even in real life. You don't even have a real life interaction with that person.
No.
Like, that would be the next question. Again, like, we just wanted to toss it in. I would be really interested in your stance of, like, who you would support and stuff, and we can also link
Unbelievable
to the full what. But yeah, and that I just saw the tweet, and how to defend your wife the right way versus the wrong way. While there was the picture of Will Smith slapping Chris, and then there's the screenshot of Tarek having a conversation with Jason on stream. So yeah, that was a very long 40 minutes almost. But I think it was interesting topics. So now is the time where we finally get to our topic, which is where I'm going to educate about Stefie, especially about the crazy shit Austrians do on Easter. So
crazy shit Julia does on Easter, guys.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I do. I mean, there's even way more stuff that I probably also don't know, and it's also depending also on the state you're on. But yeah, like, maybe I'm gonna start with like a slight introduction. So I guess, first of all, Easter is really big in Austria, right? Was it really big for you in your family as well? Like, we celebrate. It was like next to Christmas, I think, our biggest like family celebration every year.
Yeah, the thing is, I never associate these things with a like religious background, but like, which it has. Obviously, it's a religious thing, or like a religious like holiday. It was pretty, like, I remember, when I was a child, Easter and Christmas were the big, and my birthday, but Easter was a pretty big thing, like with hiding the presents and hiding your little nest with the eggs, and you had to find it. And then I almost cried because I couldn't find my present, and I thought I wasn't like I was a bad. I didn't behave good enough over the years, so the Easter bunny, like the Osterhase, didn't bring me
Mm-hmm.
something, and all these things. So yeah, it was a pretty big thing as well. But we like beside a few things like we have on our lists. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
most of it, guys. I
Yeah,
don't know what's
I put
them.
for you to know, like I put down a list about like all the topics and the traditions that I know of and that we do and the stuff. So I already, when I wrote it down, Steffi was like, "What the hell is all of this?" Like,
Yeah.
so first of all, maybe as an explanation, if you're maybe from a country where you're like, okay, yeah, I obviously know what Easter is, but we don't really celebrate this. Yeah, we have chocolate bunnies and like eggs and I don't know, but that's
Mm.
it. Then I'm gonna tell you a little bit. So I obviously didn't do my research. I'm just talking about what I think the case is and from my point of view and everything. So a little bit of a background. I come from a really Catholic family.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, my grandpa, for example, would go every Sunday to church and read out a phrase out of the Bible to help our priest, yada, yada, yada. This being said, I'm not a religious person. I'm an atheist. I exited church years ago, and I never really believed in any of this. If you believe in it, it's fine. Like, no judgment here. But since I grew up in a really religious family, like both sides, I obviously got raised in a Catholic way, so I know like all the stories, yada yada yada. So maybe let's talk about what leads up to Easter. So what is Easter all about? Yada yada yada. So Easter is obviously when Jesus is getting up from being dead. Like how do you explain that? Like
Coming back from the dead.
Coming back from the dead, yeah.
Rebirth, yeah.
A rebirth, however you want to say that. Like he dies and then he magically is alive again, and we celebrate that, right? And leading up to Easter, there's the Fastenzeit, we call it in German. So it's like basically 40 days where you fast. That can be meat, like a lot of people do it, that they don't eat meat for 40 days. And then with Easter, it is celebrated with like a big feast where they have meat again. There's people that eat really little food, or what was really common for us back then was for kids, for example, that we wouldn't have chocolate for 40 days, or let's say for parents that have a bad habit, for example, smoking or drinking too much coffee, that for 40 days they wouldn't smoke or they wouldn't drink coffee or whatever the habit was that they didn't do. So we would always choose one thing for 40 days that we would try to eliminate for this time, and then celebrate that we did fast for 40 days for this certain thing. We would celebrate that on Easter. So did you do that you fast for 40 days sometimes, or like not in a religious way, but like just as a
I started
tradition?
doing this more since like I grew up. For the past, I think like since Max and I are together, so I think it's been like it's not been 7 years since we do that, but I think at least 6 years. We started to pick up something that's, as you said, a very like a bad habit to us, and we said, okay, we just cancel that for 40 days. Like I started with chocolate as well, which was the hardest if I like think back. Like not eating any chocolate is very tough for me because I need chocolate. Chocolate is just I can't. But yeah, that's what I did. Max, for example, stopped ordering food for 40 days. I quit drinking energy drinks, or in particular the one I was addicted to back then. And then last year
40 days of no League of Legends.
it was, oh my god, that would be a fucking blessing.
Yeah, and I wanted to just say also for the people listening, like this should not be any like don't be afraid that this is some kind of like religious shit that we're gonna tell you about. Like
Join the church.
Not at all, not at all. Please don't get it that way. Church, the church, yeah. Join the Holy Church of Timo.
Yeah.
No, But what I want to say, this is mainly just about the traditions, and I'm only able to speak for myself, but I think Steffi will agree with me that um for me personally, since I'm not interested in religion or anything, I'm still really interested in traditions, in the sense of it's some of the nicest memories that I have from childhood, if that makes sense. So not necessarily the part where you go to church or why you do certain things, but just to like have something to share with your family or the close people in your life. And for example, to fast together with your whole family. That was something that was really interesting for me. For me, it was mostly like chocolate, or as you said, like 40 days you don't get takeout food or fast food, or you wouldn't make frozen pizzas, I think is something what we did. And that kind of stuff. And going through that with your whole family, for me, was kind of cool. I mean, it sounds fucked up to say that, but it was kind of cool to see my parents suffer as much as I did.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up. But for example, like I think we did once where we really didn't buy any sweets for 40 days with
That's
any sweets at
crazy.
home, and you can just see how like your mom and your dad get a little bit angry. And they're like, oh no, I don't have the chocolate or smoking or whatever it is. So I think it was like some kind of cool bonding as well, even in school. Like if I think of it, doesn't matter if it was like family or in school, and like when you're a teenager and then it's like, you know, the first time you kind of restrict yourself in your adult life for something. Like, don't get me wrong, it shouldn't be like a negative thing either, since it's only like a short duration of time. I mean, 40 days can feel really long. I did it without meat 40 days once or twice even. But yeah, I think that was really cool. So yeah, my family was really religious, especially like my grandparents. Like my both parents were religious as well, but I think now they both like exited church in the 50s. Because they just don't believe in that. They don't go to church anymore and that kind of stuff. But yeah, and but for me it's still like some of the nicest memories, like Easter and everything around it. But I also have to say, talk about the nicest memories. Also, my parents actually told me when I was 11 on an Easter Sunday, after I got all the gifts and I played the whole day with my gifts, when I came home after playing with my new gifts on Easter, they told me that I would get separated. So I also have a bad, bad memory with Easter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for me, it's still like I love Easter and the tradition, and just I think nowadays it's often the case that, at least in my family, that the whole family, so not only like my parents and my grandparents, but also aunts and cousins coming together, is something for us that gets rarer and rarer. But like when I was younger, it was something I was always looking forward for. Those huge family feasts or family get-togethers where you meet like everybody, like all of your cousins, and have great food and like then play after together. It was really, really nice. Was it for you the same, that your family like celebrated it together with a lot of people? Or
We usually, I mean, like I'm a big patchwork. We have a big patchwork family, anyways, with my aunt. So it's just like it got less, or Easter got canceled due to the pandemic for the past 2 years.
no.
But usually, what we do is we celebrate at either at my mom's place, and then afterwards at my aunt's place, with good food and everything, and with my dad together there, and we're like with my two cousins and my aunt's, it's her partner for, I don't know, 20 years already, but they're not married. But it's still my step uncle and his like family as well, like part of his family with all his children. So we're a pretty big family on these days, or where we are still, we didn't we are still a big family. It just we just like narrowed it down to the minimum during the pandemic. So I can't even remember. I don't think I drove home last year or the year before.
Are you gonna drive home this year for Easter?
Not sure. Depends on if I have to work or not.
Oh yeah, true.
But so it got less important to me, like Easter in general. But it was a very, like, it was a bigger thing for us, especially when I was younger as well, at my aunt's like garden. Like they hid our like little nests, right, with the chocolate and the sweets in it. we got for Easter. And then we all had to search our presents and stuff. So that was super fun. But obviously, the older I got, like I'd say the less important these events got for me
Mm-hmm.
or have become for me, or let's say Easter. Um, because yeah, I don't know, the magic is gone for me, obviously,
Yeah, I get
because
that.
like
But
you're not a
like,
child anymore.
is it for you the same that you have like some of the greatest memories with like connected to those kind of things, or not really?
I would say I have one very like special memory,
Mm-hmm.
and that was when we were still living in Villach. I
Mm-hmm.
was super young. I can't remember if I went to I didn't go to school yet. I think it was kindergarten. And it was April and it snowed in
Yeah,
April.
I remember as well. I remember it. Yeah,
And
yeah,
then I went down like into our garden, and there was a huge children's swing. Like
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got a like
Oh,
huge
for
swing
Easter.
for
Oh,
Easter. And I remember because back in the days my favorite plushie was Simba from Lion King.
yeah.
And I had my Simba with me, and then I was just like outside in the snow, sitting on my swing and having fun. I remember that. That
Aw.
is one of, and the second one is we that was in like elementary school already. And I couldn't find my present. Like it was Easter Sunday, and my parents told me, go look for your present. And I
Yeah.
couldn't find it, and I was looking for so long, searching it for so long, and almost started crying because I was afraid that I
Oh,
didn't behave like good enough
oh
to get
no.
something for Easter. And I was so down already and so sad. And then all of a sudden, my mom or my dad said, open the door maybe again and look. And then there was a bicycle in front of the door.
Aw.
So maybe they forgot to place it there before.
Oh my
Or
god, it's
they
amazing.
did it on purpose. I don't know. But that was a very cool memory as well that I
Yeah,
have about Easter.
so cute. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna explain a little bit for the people that maybe not that familiar of, like, for me at least, how a traditional Easter would look like. So there's, first of all, there's like this little controversial thing. I don't know if you know that too, Steffi, but some people celebrate Easter on a Saturday, and some
Mm-hmm.
people celebrate it on Sunday. So also am Samstag oder am Palmsonntag.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, we always celebrate on Saturday with my family,
Mm-hmm.
where you go to the Fleischfeier. So we have in
Mm-hmm.
Austria, if you're Catholic, what you do is we eat a lot of meat for Easter. So you have like an Easter ham. We eat this disgusting looking tongue. Like we eat, is it beef tongue or pork tongue? I'm not sure. Like everything like smoked and stuff, and we have like smoked sausages, and we have Reinling, which is like a nut cake. That's really good. Like it's a cake with like a nut swirl. My stuttering coming
Raisins.
out. Yeah, raisins, nut swirl, and like some sugar on top. That is like a really typical cake. And I remember always making this cake together either with my grandma or my
Mm-hmm.
mom. And then you would have this beautiful so einen geflochtenen Korb. Like you would have a
Mm-hmm.
basket, like a homemade basket out of like wood, like you would weave it out of wood, or like you
Yeah.
would buy it, like a handmade one. And then you would have a embroidered blanket over the basket.
Yeah.
So you would either embroider in something like religious or like some Easter thing, or I think we always had our family crest. Like
Okay,
we
that's
we
cool.
still we still had a family crest from the side of my mom. So
Mm-hmm.
my grandma would embroider like the family crest onto the 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 thing we put over the basket, and then you
Mm-hmm.
would go to church in the morning. Most of the time you would wear the traditional Austrian clothing, like not a must, but for example my grandma would always do that. I think
Mm-hmm.
the wife of my dad and my brother, they always do it as well. Like I didn't do it for a very long time, but so we would go in Tracht, in a dirndl, and like lederhosen and like everything, and we would go to
Mm-hmm.
church with our little basket, and then you would put the basket in front of the altar in church, and then the priest would
Praise the Pope.
praise
Oh,
the meat.
praise
Praise the meat. So it's weird. But
praise it.
he would have like the holy water and sprinkled it over all of the things, like the eggs, the meat, and everything, and then you would have the holy Easter food. So we obviously don't do the thing with blessing our meat before.
You know, like the thing is, I never took these things serious, and my sister and I were there with my mom a few years ago. I can't remember when it was exactly, but and then like we just recorded the priest doing it and put over like some drum and bass music and looped it where he was doing this. And I'm trying to find it right now because it was so funny.
You need to send me later. But yeah, so obviously like we don't do the whole church thing anymore. But we still make the great food. We get like the local hams and sausages from the farmers, which is always such a special meal for me, like with the fresh bread and everything. Like it's a really, 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 really high quality food that you would eat on those days. And then there's obviously other crazy things that we do that we're gonna get into in a little bit. But it's also really traditional that we have, especially for kids, like for adults, we don't really gift much. I think as an adult you don't really gift a lot to somebody else, but we make those little baskets or nests that we fill like with sweets and eggs and just little gifts and give it to each other as adults. But the children get pretty huge gifts, I would say, for Easter. So a typical thing for us would be that you get a new bike for Easter, or like Stefie said, she got like a swing. So it's obviously like an expensive gift. But for me, it would be, for example, as well, like on the year where my parents broke up, they would gift me my first like proper volleyball, like a real brand volleyball, the Mikasa, exactly. You know it, my volleyball lady right here. So I would get my first Mikasa volleyball for Easter. Or for example, I remember, that was so great. I got my first like a Barbie house for Easter. I remember that, but like not like those plastic huge ones, but my dad got like a wooden one. Like with 2 etages, and like we built it together, and it was like super, super special. Nice. You could like take out the roof and like look inside of the house and everything. Those are like those memories where, you know, you just search everywhere and then there's this huge Barbie house behind the door or something. So that was really, really cool. And then like when you get the bike, your parents would teach you how to ride the bike, or like you get the Mikasa volleyball, and then you would play. You know what the sad part was? On that day where they broke up, or like they told me that they split up, and I got my Mikasa ball. So we celebrated Easter, everybody left. I went outside, play with my friends with the Mikasa volleyball, and I smashed my volleyball and I hit a tree. And in April, it's in April, right? So everybody cuts the tree branches really short so they grow faster again. And my ball pierced in one of the cut branches, and I actually ran home crying because I literally had my expensive volleyball for like 2 hours, and then I destroyed it, and I came home crying. I was like, no, I killed my ball. And then I just see my both parents sitting there on the table like looking super serious, and I was like, oh no, what's happening? They were like, honey, we need to talk to you. We don't love each other anymore. And I was like, no.
Oh my god, the cherry on top. Holy shit.
So that was I think one of my most traumatizing moments in my life. My poor volleyball, and then my family. No, but it was fine. So nice memories, but also bad ones. Then let's talk what else is there. So we already talked about the cake. That is the Reinling, right? So
my mom also makes, like, she always makes one with like nuts and raisins and one with chocolate, because she
with chocolate.
Yes, with cocoa powder.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so good. I love it.
Wanted
She's
to
always
ask
making
you,
one for me
actually.
in mugs.
I actually wanted to ask you, because there's a huge controversy for all the Austrians that are listening. I want to know from you. Do you like the Reinling with or without raisins? Without raisins? Okay. I have to say, when I was a kid, I was always I hated raisins. I was like, my grandma always had to make one without raisins for me as well, but just with extra, like with a lot of nut filling instead. And now I have to say, I really like raisins. Like I start like I wouldn't eat them like raw, but in the cake it's actually really good because they're so moist. So I was a raisin hater, and now I like it. Then what else do we do leading up to Easter? We color our eggs, obviously, right? So that's also a huge family thing. We usually, you can buy them in a store pre-colored if you want to, but you would boil the eggs and then color them in whatever colors, put stickers on it, make marbled eggs, make rainbow eggs. We would also do the thing. Did you do that as well? Where you take an egg that is uncooked, pierce the front and the back, then blow it out. Exactly. Blow out
for decoration, for the Beinkatzel.
Exactly.
Thingy.
And then
we did that as well.
Or like paint them by hand. We did that like in kindergarten as well. And like those are also such nice memories, like with my mom and grandma doing those kind of things. And then obviously decorating the house. See, that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna take out my Easter decoration. I have like a lot of bunnies.
Easter decoration.
You know what I always get? I have like the bunnies and everything, but like tasteful ones. I'm gonna post it later, also on my Instagram if you want. And I always buy like krokusse or like flowers, that start off like as the big seed, where just like the little tip is looking out. And I usually always buy them in the beginning of April. So once it's Easter, they're blossoming. So that is something I usually always do.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's something I do. I don't really know if it's a tradition, but it's something that I started for myself, that I always buy those kind of flowers. Also so eine große Blumenzwiebel, was die einfach im Dings drin sitzen und dann fangen es an zu blühen. So that is, for example, something I do. Then many people have the Easter lamb. Do you have that as well in your family? The cake?
I don't think so.
So it's like a cake that we bake in the shape of a lamb. It's like
okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you know that.
I think my auntie made that once or twice.
It's like
I think so.
It's like some white kind of cake. I don't even know what it is. Like my family
I know what
doesn't
you mean.
really
I know
do
what
it.
you mean.
Yeah. So it's just in the shape of a lamb, and there's like some powdered sugar on it. I think it's basically just a normal sponge cake, maybe with some lemon or something. I'm not sure. Yeah. So that's the one thing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then we hide the gifts, right? We said that before, like the little nests, the big things.
I'm gonna make my children cry, guys. I'm gonna hide.
Like
whenever I have children and there's Easter, I'm gonna troll them hard. What my parents did with me. Did you look everywhere? Then open the door. That's what I'm gonna do to my children as well.
Oh, I remember, what my dad did once? He, I think we only did that once, but I think that was a cool idea. He once did that. I think that's not real traditional, but he did it that I first have to search 10 colored eggs. So the eggs that we colored, he would like hide them in the whole house, in the garden. And he says, as soon as I find all 10 eggs, then I would get my gift. Right?
Bro, this is such a fucking five-head idea.
Yes.
I'm gonna occupy my children the whole day. Like,
exactly.
Look for the 20 eggs in the first floor, then find the 50 eggs in the garden.
And then you like open the garage and give them their bike after. But you know where my egg was? Like, I was literally crying. I couldn't find the last egg one time. The one time he did. And you know where this asshole put it? He put it after I woke up. He must have gone into my room and he put the egg into my pillowcase.
The fuck?
Like, how should I find
How are you supposed to find that?
Exactly. But fucking smart.
That's so five-head.
Okay, write it down.
That's so five-head.
Obviously, this episode is airing like before Easter. So now it's Monday. If you celebrate Saturday, is Sunday. Or maybe if you even don't celebrate it usually that big, maybe you can take some of the ideas, and doesn't matter if you're religious or not or whatever. I think especially for children, or even if you just want to celebrate with your friends or your partner, I think some of those traditions that we're going to talk about are going to be really, really interesting for you. So another thing that we then do when we have the food, obviously we eat a lot of cooked eggs, the colored ones. What we do is eierpacking. So what eierpacking is, if you don't really know, it is basically we fight with eggs. So you take
like this, guys.
Exactly. So Stefie's gonna demonstrate it.
I'll demonstrate. Yes.
Okay, Steffi, I can see Steffi is already a professional Eierbäcker because she's holding the eggs the correct way. So I would recommend watching a YouTube video for this if you're not. So what we do is each person takes an egg. So you obviously have to inspect first to have the right egg with the right shape, you know. And then one person is holding and the other person is attacking. Okay?
Yeah, and then you
you smash them together, and there's always going to be a winner and a loser, right? So one egg is going to survive and the other one is going to be broken. The broken egg you eat. And then the winner moves on and you fight everybody on the table. And then the person that wins is the winner of Easter. Most of the time it was my dad. And later on I found out it was just because he held the egg just like Steffi did, because it's like more...
You need to like know where the tension is and how to hold it to not like break the tension. Like the Sollbruchstelle, you know.
Exactly. And there's certain ways you can hit the egg so it's the higher chance to break, like more on the side than on the top. Exactly. We know all the tricks. And you know what I found out like was never the case in our family? But I saw or heard from other people that there's some mean grandpas that have a wooden egg that they paint that looks exactly like a normal egg. And they would use that and win every year. So that's also a 5-head move.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, do you celebrate on Saturday or Sunday with your family?
The thing is, because I celebrate like 2 days, like one day
you do both days,
usually
then.
with my mom and then second day at my aunt's place. So we usually, I think we had like Saturday at my mom's and Sunday at my aunt's and dad's place. So both.
Nice. And then there's obviously the other thing that is more for the people that are maybe living a little bit more in the countryside. There's the whole thing with the Easter fire. Did you do that a lot with like collecting the wood, protecting the fire?
No, that's what I didn't do. But my dad and I used to drive to one place. Like this is actually, now that you mention it with the great memories, you're right. Like my dad and I used to have a lot of special like moments on Easter, because there's, I don't know, it's in Villach, it's called the Johannakirche. This is a big place like where there's like an old church and there's a lot of like fields where we used to I don't know what's it called in English, Drachensteigen.
Oh, where like kites, like you let the kites.
Yeah. My dad and I used to do that.
How do you say
so
it?
I'm
gonna Google that. How would you flying kites, like those small kites as a child, you know, that you can just let them rise up in the air.
And we had like these big ones, and we used to like we did that there at this place, like in those fields. And there's also at Easter there was always a big fire there, so we used to drive there because it was our favorite place to hang out anyways, and then just enjoy the fire. I remember that.
That is so cute. And I don't know if you know that, like, to be honest, I was not aware of that when I was a child. But as you know, like, I was dating somebody for 7 years before I was with Nathan that was a little bit more from the countryside. And there I learned, I think, a lot of those traditions as well, because he was a really traditional dude from the countryside, right? So basically what they're doing with the Easter fires, it's kind of like a fun competition, especially between small villages. So in April, you usually cut your trees, right? So you have all the tree cuttings, and usually all the villages, all the cities kind of collect those cuttings to make the biggest possible Easter fire, right? And then on Easter, you would put the huge pile of wood on fire and celebrate around it with the whole village, right? That is like the whole thing. But there's also the thing while collecting. So you start collecting this pile really early on. And what they would try to do, obviously the villages would contest to have the biggest fire every year. What they would do at night, the villagers would try to ignite the fire of the other ones beforehand. To make them not have the biggest fire on Easter. So, for example, what my ex-boyfriend used to do with his friends, they would sleep around the Easter fire, like the week leading up to the Easter fire,
Yeah.
to protect it. So the enemy village, under quotation marks,
Oh,
would not
lol.
set it on fire. And then on the other hand, they would like split up and try to light another pile of wood on fire there. And so it's like this fun kind of competition between the villages, which was really cute. So again, as a child, I didn't have that, but as a teenager, it was kind of cool to. Now in retrospect, like back then I was just fucking annoyed by it, because it's like, dude, he has to sleep at this fucking fire in a freaking sleeping bag for a week when it's like -degrees at night to protect it. I mean, he didn't do it that much either, but it was kind of cool to see all of that. So that is a cool
I didn't know that.
thing. Yeah, like I think in like the big cities like Klagenfurt and Villach, it's not really that big of a deal, but like,
Yeah,
you know,
but more the small.
Feldkirchen and like the small villages in between, like, you know, everywhere there's like the Feuerwehrfest and those kind of things, or like with the May trees, then after that everybody wants to have the highest May tree and climate and stuff. So yeah, the Easter fire is a big thing. Then there's obviously like the Easter markets, which is super, super cool. Are you going to Easter markets?
We don't.
Before?
I remember we had like in the cities, there is Easter markets, but if I'm honest with you, I don't even know if there's some in Graz.
I'm pretty sure. It's usually always like, also, I don't know if it's the whole month, but it's usually like 3, 4, or like 1 month before Easter. They usually start like the Christkindlmarkt, but in smaller.
Yeah, I remember that in Carinthia.
Yeah.
Like I even used to go there because we had this Easter train for children, right? Where you can sit in the little like train, and then it just like goes around for 5 minutes or what, which is super nice as a child. But to be honest, I haven't seen an Easter market in Graz. I'm not leaving the apartment that much either, but I've been living here for 9 years and I haven't.
I mean, maybe
Easter
also
market.
because you're not really that interested in it. Maybe you just didn't look for it, and but see, that could be interesting. Maybe you can see if there's an Easter market. So usually Easter market is like where they sell a lot of decorations for Easter, and like all the local farmers usually like sell their produce there. So it's a really nice way also to support your locals, farmers and stuff. You get such good food, and they also obviously sell the Baumkatzeln, right? Do you want to explain what the Baumkatzeln are?
I can't even really explain it anymore. I haven't seen it. And so the thing is, like, when I was home, all these things like we did, but since I am in Graz, I don't even decorate for Christmas my own apartment. Because I'm always like, because I'm always like driving
Stefie,
home. You know what I mean?
Listen, new tradition, okay? I want to do that forever. I told Nita and Sasa already. Even if you don't want to celebrate those kind of things, it's fine. We're gonna have once a year Friendsgiving, okay? Even if that's not a thing. We're gonna do once a year, kind of like a family celebration with like a big feast where we all come together. And we don't have to necessarily gift each other, but just celebrate our friendship, right? And I'm going to invite you all over. And once a year, we're going to have this Friendsgiving where we just appreciate our friendship, have a great dinner, and maybe create our own traditions, whatever that might be. And then we have great memories for us to create every single year where we have this cool thing. And then like, you know, maybe years later on,
make a photo book then.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. So we have at least one cool memory with people we love every year. Maybe if we don't get the chance to celebrate with family or whatsoever, and then maybe you know, in a few years, we have a new dog, and then we have this memory where we got our dog there, or we bring our children there, and then our children can celebrate together and that kind of stuff. So I really want to do it for a long time. So this is our goal: once a year, Friendsgiving, with the people we love and that can come, and then I think that would be really cute. But yeah, to talk about the Palmkätzchen. So Palmkätzchen, that sounds a little bit stupid. If you would translate it, like I checked what the name of it is, especially. It is basically a tree that is in blossom, but the blossom is like, imagine like little cute gray cotton balls that are super fluffy. Like it looks like it's like when you touch it, it almost feels like fur. I think in English, I googled it. It's either pussy willow.
Okay.
Which I'm not sure if that's the correct word. The other one would be catkin, which is catkin.
I think that is what
that's
I've
the right
heard
word.
as well.
Yeah, so pussy willow is probably not the right word, but catkin. But if that was
it is,
catkin, it's catkin.
Yeah.
Okay, so catkin. So it's basically branches
Pussy willow.
of a tree. Pussy willow, exactly. I like pussy willow.
Catkin blossom.
Exactly, catkin blossom. So it's like branches, thin, long branches with really fluffy, cute blossoms on it, and you would like cut them from the trees, and get a huge or like a big kind of vase and fill it with like high ones, and then you would hang on
eggs on it and some like little fluffy, not real, but like these chicken, you know. Yeah,
exactly. So that is like a really typical decoration, and we all loved it as kids. And I don't know if you're the same. Like I would always like pet it till like all of the little fussy thingies fall off, and then my mom would scream at me, "They need to hold till Christmas, till Easter. You can't get them all off." And it was like, but they're so soft. I want to touch them.
Let me touch, Mom.
Exactly. Then. Okay, so that was something I was really disappointed when I put it on the list and Steffi didn't know what it is. As a Corinthian, I wrote on Ayamochka. Steffi doesn't know what Ayamochka is.
She's so weird, guys. I have no idea what that is. What is that?
Ayamochka is something you eat for Easter. It is basically mashed eggs. Like you cook the eggs and then you like mash it. You put in some crane, so like, how do you say merit? Crane is what in English? Give me a second.
Don't know.
Let me see. It's like spicy horseradish.
Oh,
exactly. Yeah. So you mix eggs, horseradish. Some people use like fresh cheese, so it's like creamy. So you make this creamy paste out of egg and horseradish that you would put on the bread and eat with the meat. So it's like a spread, basically.
I just know normal horseradish, and then like what we did is like, what's it called?
Ayapeking? Okay. So so ayamochka is basically just an egg horseradish mix that you use as a spread during Easter. And the weird thing is as well, which are weird maybe for people that don't know, the Reinling, so the nut cake that we eat that with ham. So you would put like the ham and the eggs on the cake and eat that, for example. There's also something that was maybe not there. And the horseradish is also a really important part. So we would not like buy like the pre-packed one. So you would buy like a real huge piece of the horseradish, and you would try to get the spiciest, and then you would just like, how do you say it? Like, grated, I guess. So it's like really fine and intense, and everybody was like, "Oh my
crying
God,
their shit out."
Exactly. So that's also something that's really typical. Then there's also the thing with throwing eggs over the roof. I think Steffi also doesn't know that one. Nope.
We didn't do that.
Oh my God, Steffi. Oh my God.
I was just there for the presents, guys. I wanted my presents. That's about it.
So there's another tradition that is supposed to bring you luck.
But cooked eggs, Julia.
Yeah, cooked eggs, of course.
Raw.
No.
Okay.
The cooked colored eggs. I think we just needed something to do with all the eggs, right? We would eat them also. Still, after all of the things we do with the eggs, we eat them. So what we would do is we go outside after we're done eating, and we would take an egg, and you would try to yank the egg over the roof of your house, like over the highest tip of your roof, and you would have to get it over the roof and onto the other side of your garden, or like the other side of the house. And if you would make it over, you would have good luck. If you're not, you're fucked.
Okay.
So obviously it was kind of unfair when you're like a fucking 5-year-old child trying to eat a fucking egg over the roof. How am I supposed to do this, right? So it was kind of unfair. I felt like, 180 dad eating it like it's nothing, and then you're like, as a 6-year-old, you just eat it against the kitchen window, and your mom is losing her shit.
Bro, my house here, like I'm living in the apartment though, but if you imagine me like yeeting the egg over this. It has like 4 floors. Each floor is like 4 meters 10 high. Good luck.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay, that's maybe not. It's more like
5
the one.
included with. Yeah, if you have
more
it,
like
at
the
home, I
one-
could.
Yeah,
and my
exactly.
dad's house, I could yeet it over my dad's house.
Like our house, for example, so it's like a
yours
one-story
is
house.
high as well,
Mhm.
but still.
Yeah, it's also depending if you have like a flat roof or if you have like a
Yeah,
pointy one.
I'm cheating. My dad has a flat roof, guys.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
can
but
do it
that is
there.
dangerous because the eggs could get like stuck there if you
Yeah,
don't.
but
have
it's like it's tilted. A
Oh, it
little
has
bit
a tilt.
always.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good. And
Well,
then
when
there's
it's
also
raining.
something that I personally didn't do, but I've seen. So there's like this thing where you would have a little wooden slide on the table. So it's like a small slide. Like it looks
Okay.
like almost like a toy slide. And
Yeah.
it has like a little ridge in it where you could take a coin and put it on top of the slide and let the coin roll down. And the coin would have to hit the egg and break it.
Okay.
So your goal is to, with a coin, break the egg. That was also a game that I saw, but we personally never did it.
I didn't do that either.
Yeah, and the other thing that I also didn't do, but I know a lot of people do, is the RATSCHN in the Karwoche. So it's like, how would you say that in English? So it's like almost, OSTER. It's like almost like not an instrument, but it's also something they use at like sports event, right? Sometimes.
I have no idea about that, but I know how it looks. Like, let me Google it real quick.
It is like it's like a wooden instrument almost. I don't really know
and it's
how
like,
to. It makes like a
it's
loud
so hard
sound.
it's so hard to describe.
I don't really understand either, but we're gonna put you a link of a picture in our YouTube video. So it's basically a little wooden thing that you hold in your hand that you spin, and then it makes like a loud sound.
Yeah.
And I think it is in the Karwoche, so there's like a week before Easter, right? The week before Easter, you would run around and just make as much noise as possible. But that is for children, that the children do it.
Oh, and then we also have, it's not like fireworks, but we have these
Oh, how did we forget that? Böller and Milchkandeln schießen.
What is this?
What? Steffi, please tell me you're miming. Milchkandeln
No, I'm not.
schießen? Oh,
Never did
guys,
that.
I'm out. I'm sorry, I can't. This is it.
I'm telling you, I was just
Steffi,
there
it
for
was
the
nice. I'm
presents.
walking away. No, you can't see me, but I'm walking away. See you. No, Milchkandeln schießen. So like Steffi said, we have like not fireworks, but the thingies that make the loud sounds, like the boom boom thingies. So they would be schießen. They would like shoot those loud thingies all day, every day. Like they start before Easter already. And then there's something, I think, to be fair, I only learned what that is. I'm sure you heard it before, but I only saw it because, again, I had a boyfriend that was a little bit more on the countryside, right?
Yeah.
So what they do is...
brother.
a redneck, an Austrian redneck, kind of. So, no, but he was really nice. I liked him. And so basically, you know, the huge aluminum, I think it's an aluminum or steel, like the old milk containers, like where they the cans, so really huge milk cans. For people who are listening, they're like, I don't know, a meter tall, really massive and loud. So what they do on the countryside, they built like own launchers, almost like things where you can put them in upside down, so they don't fall, and tilt in a certain direction, so you can decide in which direction they're shooting. They would put in explosive powder, so Schwarzpulver.
Okay.
So like the thing that they shoot cannons with. It's really dangerous, and I think it's forbidden. I don't think that you're officially allowed to do this. But they put like this explosive powder into the milk can, put it on fire, and launch it. They go so high. When I saw that the first time, it is so loud because like the milk can is hollow on the inside.
Yeah.
It shoots up super high in the air. It's super dangerous if it comes back down. If it hits you, you're basically dead, I think. And it goes up like meters and meters up in the air, and it's the one that makes a really loud sound. When you hear like this really loud, so dumpfe, this is. If you hear this, Easter, that's Milchkandelschießen. That's when they shoot the fucking milk cans in the air. So yeah, what do? We fucking have egg fights. We eat our eggs over the roof. We shoot milk cans in the air. We let the priest jizz holy water over our meat to make it holy.
We have big fireplaces.
Big fireplaces. We try to set the fireplaces of other villages on fire. Dude, we do a lot of fucked up shit for Easter. And I'm sure there's so much more that we don't know, or maybe out of other states, right? So maybe if you're having other Easter traditions that we forgot to pick up, I'm super happy to hear them in the comments or read them in the comments. We still have a few days till Easter at this point, so please write them. Maybe there's a new one that I can try at Easter.
Yeah.
And and I hope you enjoyed our weird tradition and the crazy shit we do on Easter. Yeah, and Steffi, I hope you learned something too. Is there something you want to try this Easter?
I definitely did. I didn't know most of the things. Like you said, all the countryside stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like we never really did that. I know it, like, or I heard it at least. Now I know what it is. If it's like that super loud.
Yeah,
like
and you need to ask your dad. I'm sure, like your mom and your dad, that generation knows it for sure.
Yes. I think so too. It's just I personally did. I don't know. Maybe even 50% of the list, like what we talked about, guys. So yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I learned most of the things as well only through that boyfriend that I had on the countryside, right?
Yeah.
When we were like, oh, howdy, brother, here's the fucking milk candle that we're gonna heat up in the air. Be careful that you don't get hit on the head or you're dead. So, no, but I think it's really interesting traditions. It's something like, obviously, I'm not gonna fucking yeet a milk can up in the air. But like all the small things, I'm really looking forward to one point having children and being able to do all this funny stuff with them.
Yeah.
And create great memories and have the little Friendsgiving maybe this year together. I would really look forward to that. And again, guys, let us know about the drama we talked about, the news. Let us know about your traditions at Easter. Doesn't matter from which religion, which country you're from. I would be super interested. And I think that was it for today's episode, right? Or do you want to add anything else?
Nope,
we're done. Okay, thank you so much for
I'm
listening.
I'm gonna show you Timo's little eggs.
Oh,
guys.
yeah, true. Mine. I have some too. Oh my god, they're so cute. Have a beautiful rest of your day, guys. We wish you happy Easter, no matter if you celebrate it or not. We love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.
Peace.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Derps and Burps podcast.
If you enjoyed it, make sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram at derps'nburps. See you online.